Hey, good morning. This is encouragement and motivation from my heart. And today I want to talk to you about a couple of things that I learned about the 15 truths about Jesus and his relationship to us. And the question that I'm going to end with is, what are you allowing to be first in every walk in your life? And we'll get to what exactly I mean by that. But the first truth about Jesus and his relationship to us is that he's the Alpha and the Omega. And in Revelation chapter 21, verse 6, it says, "And he said to me, it is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. I will give water as a gift to the thirsty from the spring of life." And I underlined the thirsty because when you're thirsty, a lot of times water is the only thing that can quench the thirst of our body. And the gift of water from God quenches the need for our life. So what is it that we are needing that we think that we can get from other areas in our life or just get ourselves, when in all actuality, God can only be that one to quench the need in our lives. The next is he's also the bread of life. In John 6:35, it says, "I am the bread of life," Jesus told them. "No one who comes to me will ever be hungry, and no one who believes in me will ever be thirsty again." So in this, in our life, we need food and water, essentially, to survive, right? So Jesus is saying in here that he supplies all that we need in order to thrive. All that we need in order to thrive. He's also the chief cornerstone. And we've kind of already gone over this verse in another video. But in Ephesians chapter 2, verse 20, he says, "Built on the foundation of the apostles and the prophets, with Christ Jesus himself as our cornerstone." Now I want to encourage you to read the before verse, so verse 19, as well as the after verse, verse 21, because in it says that we are no longer foreigners of this land or strangers. And I thought that was so profound, because sometimes when we get in our own thoughts and when we get in our own ways, we think that nobody understands. We think that there's no way anybody could understand, and that we have no friends, and we're just all by ourselves, because that's what the lies of the enemy would want us to believe, is that we're all by ourselves and dealing with our struggle. But in this, he said that we are built on the foundation of the apostles and the prophets, with Christ Jesus himself as our cornerstone. But in our own lives, do we have Jesus Christ as our cornerstone? If we put Jesus first, then we will thrive easily. Of course, we'll always have something that will try and take Jesus out of our first. If not, I can imagine like an earthquake, like your body is kind of like an earthquake. For me, if I don't put Jesus first in my life, I begin to break down physically and mentally. And so there's an earthquake going on in my body when I do not put Jesus first in my life. And that's the same way when a foundation, when a structural house, if you remove the cornerstone out of the place where it's supposed to be, then the whole structure will collapse or become uneasy. The last one is the firstborn from the dead. So Colossians 1:18 says, "He is also the head of the body, the church. He is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, so that he might come to have first place in everything." The significance of this verse to me is to make Jesus first in every part of my life, when it comes to work, when it comes to my family, when it comes to my heart and my desires. What is it that I'm putting as first place in there? Am I putting the need to try and be the best in my work center? Am I putting the need to approve as first? Or am I putting Jesus as first and asking his will to be done in my life in all areas, in all those areas? So I want to end today with asking you the question to examine yourself in your heart and ask yourself, what is it that you are putting first in each of those areas? Is it Jesus, or is it something else? I hope you guys have an amazing day. This is encouragement and motivation from my heart.